This video response is going to go out to Owl City and Carly Rae Jepsen, and that's because you guys uploaded a music video entitled Good Times. I watched your video and I sat here thinking to myself, oh no, not again. The reason for this is because I recently reviewed another music video entitled Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. Now you know why I was sitting here going, oh no, not again. Well, I have a ton of feedback for you, and I have a lot of questions. So bear with me, folks. This is going to get very interesting. Okay, let's start with the lyrics, and here are my questions. Which side of the bed do you consider the right side? And which Prince song are you referring to? You make no mention of this in your video. You make no mention of this in your lyrics. I'd like to know. And since you brought this up, do you normally sleep in pajamas or do you sleep commando? You brought it up. I'm bringing it right back to you. And you trusted the cab driver to take you somewhere safe. What's the deal with that? Do you know this guy personally? Have you invited him to a barbecue? Is he a friend of the family? I'd like to know what the deal is on that one. Okay. Now, most college students and young adult workers don't wake up at dusk unless they have to work at a second or third shift job, or maybe they're a musician like you, or maybe they just party all night, or maybe they have some kind of a problem. If they have some kind of a problem, they need to get it fixed. See what I mean? Anyway, let's go on, shall we? Now, why are you so convinced that everything will be hunky-dory and okay? Just because you say it? Really? I mean, that's what your lyrics emphasize. Everything is going to turn out perfectly fine. Like, really? Haven't you ever heard of something called continuity and how it can bite you in the rear end? I know this only too well. Okay. And I can certainly comprehend why you were so upset when you dropped your smartphone into the pool. It takes a lot of time to transfer all your contact information into a new smartphone. It also takes a lot of time to customize the settings on a new smartphone. Now, granted, I don't own a smartphone, but I have a lot of friends that do, and I do own a tablet, so I kind of know what that's like. Get the picture? Perhaps you should place your smartphone into a waterproof case before you stroll past a pool. That's what smart people do. Well, alright. Now let's see how smart you really are. You say you're old enough and smart enough to check into and out of a hotel room, yet you didn't purchase a waterproof case for your smartphone? Really? I would think that'd be one of your top priorities, especially if you live your life based on your smartphone. I mean, you handle musical equipment that's worth a lot of money, and I know you'd do everything you could to protect that, but you don't protect your smartphone? Let's think about that for a second. Really? Okay. Now then, let's go on here. Now, money doesn't grow on trees, and it isn't manufactured by an automatic teller machine. I can tell you that right now. I admit you are a music celebrity, and you probably have tons of money, and you probably throw a bunch of it in the fireplace every night and burn it. Fine. You do that. But many people that you are, well, let's put it this way, but many people that is members of your audience, not to mention millions of others that buy your CDs and DVDs and music downloads and whatever every single day, they're not as financially stable as you are. So this isn't sound advice for the financially challenged people that you cater to. And I know you cater to a lot of people like that. So what you're saying in your lyrics is just not good sound financial advice. It really isn't. Okay. Now then. You keep telling people how much of a good time you're having. You say, well, I don't hardly even have to go to any effort to have a good time. That's what your lyrics pretty much say. Pretty much sums it up. But let's think about this for just a second. I watched your music video. I watched it real carefully. And here's my responses to your music video. It's not a good time when a rock hits your windshield. It could be quite an inconvenience. I can tell you that right now. You have to pull over to the side of the road. You have to call for the people to fix your window, the whole 9 yards. It's really a pain in the real behind. Okay? And it's not a good time when your tire is punctured by debris on the highway. And don't tell me you can't hit debris. Let me tell you something. I've driven on some of those highways, and twice over I almost hit a flower pot. Not to mention I almost hit a deer once too. So there you go. And I'll tell you this, it is not a good time when you're trying to pull out of a parallel parking spot. Now, I know they got these brand new devices they put on your car that makes it possible for you to pull out of a parallel parking spot without too much effort. But back in my day, trust me, even now, I own a car that does not have one of these devices, so parallel parking is a real pain in the world tushy. At least for me, anyway. And I can tell you what, if you have poor eyesight, that makes it worse. Okay? And it's not a good time when you get stuck in rush hour traffic and you're hungry. I can tell you, that really, yeah. Or you're stressed out. Doesn't matter either way. And it's not a good time when you travel to the woods without a first aid kit or mosquito repellent. That'll run a good time pretty quick. And it's not a good time when you trip over a rock or some hole you don't see along the trail and you end up falling down and spraining your ankle. Don't tell me that can't happen. Rugged terrain, are you kidding? Unless you're a professional mountain man, that could happen pretty quick, even if you're on a trail. If they haven't cleared out the trail recently, there you go. Now, I'll tell you what, it's not a good time when you come in contact with poison ivy or poison oak. Can you identify both plants? And what do you do to keep from getting contaminated with their stuff? Think about that for a second. I mean, none of you were really wearing a bunch of blue jeans and the proper gear to keep you from coming in contact with poison ivy and poison oak. And let me tell you something, if you go in the woods and you're wearing proper shoes, proper socks, and proper jeans and a proper shirt, you minimize the chances of getting bit by mosquitoes, being exposed to poison ivy or poison oak, and a whole host of other problems. I can tell you that from personal experience. And don't even get me started on ticks either, and Lyme disease. Whew. Point taken here. And it's not a good time when you accidentally... Okay, let's say this again. It's not a good time when you accidentally kick a burning ember from a campfire into the woods. I mean, after all, you could start a forest fire, especially if it's real dry in that area. See what I mean? So, literally, your lyrics are false. Based on your own video, your lyrics are false. You took none of this into consideration. And you're sitting there lollygagging, dancing around a campfire, not realizing you could accidentally kick an ember, and there you go. Land on your tent. It could land on a nearby tree or just some shrubs that have dried out, and there you go. Whew. Anyway, now you can pretty much see why I have so many problems with this particular song. And why I was sitting here thinking to myself, oh no, not again. If you wrote these lyrics, please go back to college, learn something, grow up. And if you weren't the ones who wrote these lyrics, and somebody else wrote them, fire them. They're horrible, horrible lyrics. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on this one. Wow. Maybe number 3 will be a charm. You know how they say third time's the charm? I hope this will, if you do a number 3 and you get it real popular, maybe we'll get something right on this. In the meantime, I do thank you for being so patient and watching this presentation. Maybe you'll learn something from it. I hope you do. I know I'm going to get a lot of negative feedback on this. Fine, send it all you want, but you cannot deny the things I said in this video. Not one thing. Alright, this is Ted the Speed Learner signing off. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.